Well, I'm going to hand these out, and you can do whatever you want with them. Throw them out, but read them. That would be my first suggestion. This is information, of course, about me and about what I do. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'll tell you about myself again later. My name is Jeremy Holloway. I work in the University of Toledo. I'm in education, curriculum, and instruction. And I've always been in education, but I did different things in education, and now I'll tell you about that. So the title, I have 29 of them, so if there's 30 people in here, I'm sorry. Actually, it was 28 there because I took one. Sorry. But I'll tell you a little bit about vision, okay? So why have vision? That's the whole title, right? And if you're doing a startup or if you're doing anything, this might be a good question, right? Why have a vision? Well, vision is a lot related to everything. It's related to who we are. And this is a spoiler alert because I'm going to give an intro to this. But before I give an intro, I'm going to just spoil it right now. All right, it's who you are. All right, the vision is you. When people come up to you, they see your vision. Whether it's deliberate or it's not deliberate, they see who you are. So we all know Einstein. We know Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, perhaps Ford. What do these people have in common? One thing I would say is that they didn't enjoy the classroom that much. They just weren't comfortable. Weren't comfortable in the classroom. But why is that? Were they too smart for the class that they were in? Or were they too talented? And I would say maybe. But something that I would add to that is, or maybe take out those two and just put this one in, is imagination. And what is imagination? Well, the dictionary says imagination involves images, ideas, and pictures in one's mind. Now, I thought that was really interesting. Pictures. Other dictionaries say image, an image. So something I did back in 2005 is I started teaching. I taught language. I taught Spanish. Puedo hablar español. Okay, I can speak Spanish. And chokum hongu malayo. I can speak a little Korean too, but don't say anything to me Korean besides that. I can't do it, okay? I taught Spanish and I loved it. Taught for 6 years. After that, I went to Korea, hence, and taught English for 1 year. Loved languages. Then I got my master's in English as a second language. One thing I discovered is that I was interested in how we acquired languages. So I started studying, and I discovered that we don't acquire languages majorly by seeing a verb, putting a verb and putting a noun together and forming sentences in our mind grammatically. Instead, most of us, the majority of us, acquire language by pictures. Like a movie. We put one picture and link it together and we form our own movie. And that's what helps us to acquire any language. I could also talk about how language is not just things that we speak, it's how we communicate. But the way that we acquire a lot of things is by images, pictures, mental imagery. And I spent a lot of time studying on mental imagery. And what is that? I thought it was really, really cool. One of the things I discovered is that mental imagery is the way that the majority of us think. So why is that important? Well, I talked about Einstein and I talked about Bill Gates and other people. Well, Socrates and Einstein have some things in common, but one of them is Socrates would spend time thinking about what he's thinking about. This is related to vision a lot because he cherished the things that he thought about. He said, this is interesting. And a lot of times he would stop in the middle of the road and just start thinking. That's a problem. You get run over by a chariot or something. There weren't no cars back then, right? And Another interesting individual is Einstein. Einstein would actually have these thought experiments. He called them thought experiments. And he would visualize himself riding alongside of a light beam across the universe. All right, that's crazy, right? But that's mental imagery. All right, he was like, that's interesting. Let me think about that for a while. And some of you are going to be like, why in the world are we even talking about what people are thinking about? This isn't that important. This isn't that urgent, but it actually is. And I'll be talking about that in a second too, because Stephen Covey talks about something I'm sure 200% of you know about his book. But anyway, I'll talk about that in a second. But that thought experiment is mental imagery. And it was kind of important for him. And it ended up being important for some other people because from that vision, he developed something called the theory of relativity. Okay? Probably two of you in here know what that is, right? This is a joke. I'm sure a lot of you do. And E equals MC squared. He said from a vision he saw. So it ended up being important. So individuals like that took time away from the classroom. And I'm a teacher, by the way, so I love the classroom. The classroom is awesome. But I challenge you that they were uncomfortable because they had cherished something that they were thinking about, and they didn't feel like it was being cherished in the environments that they were in. So they had to take themselves apart, away from that environment a little bit, and just spend time thinking about this idea. Because to them, it was really important. That's cherishing and harnessing your vision, your mental imagery. That's something that might not be important to anybody else, but it's incredibly important to you. Growing up, there was a lot of times where I felt like something that I thought was important to me, but others didn't think that was that important, didn't think it was that urgent. I would talk about it like it was urgent, like something very important, and others didn't. And sometimes I caved, and I was like, maybe this isn't that important, because other people aren't thinking that this is important, so maybe it's not. But now I'm a little bit older, and I realize that if I care about something and I think about it, it's important to me, it's important. It's important. It's very important. Some people here might have something, I wouldn't even say might, I'm pretty sure, has something to the equivalent of the theory of relativity. You're just challenged by the outside environment that's trying to tell you this isn't that important. This isn't really, you're not going to do anything really special with this idea, with this vision that you have. But I think that what you have is actually really, really important. One of the issues is in our society, we don't have a lot of environments that help cherish and nurture that imagery or that vision that we have. Except for this place. This place is good, Nate. This place is good. And we need environments like that, but we also need to create environments like that and learn what are the things that stimulate this vision. I have a quote that I made up, but it was from the studies that I was doing, and that the words that we say paint pictures which paint our direction. Okay? And studies show that whatever you focus on, that's the direction you're going to go towards. So let's go back though. You're going towards a certain direction, you're focusing on that. That's because there's a picture in your mind that's related to that. But if you go back, there's language and there's words that have painted that picture in your mind. So a very important thing is look at the words, not only the words that you're using, but look at the words that people are using around you. And spend time thinking about those words that people are using. You might want to spend time with just how people are responding to your words, especially when it comes to your vision. Big time, right? It's big time. One of the things that I wanted to mention was in Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he talked about time management and the 4 quadrants of time management. But I want to let you know that this isn't just a quadrant of time management. It's a quadrant of, it's a lifestyle. It's acquiring a lifestyle and acquiring a vision culture for yourself and for the people around you. So there's quadrant number 1, there's quadrant number 2. Here's a little review of Stephen Covey, right? Quadrant number 1, quadrant number 2, quadrant number 3, and 4. Here is the area where things are urgent and important. This is the area where if we've gone to public school, we've all learned how to be in this area, okay? It's taking out fires, emergency, waking up, oh my gosh, I gotta do this. Oh God, oh crap, I gotta do this. Oh my gosh, I didn't order the pizza. I gotta order pizza right now. That kind of stuff. And quadrant number 2 is things that are not urgent, but they're important. Spending time with the family, making that plan for my business, just in case this happens, so I don't have to call Bob, that kind of stuff. Quadrant number 3, not important, but urgent. Stuff that other people tell you that you have to do. You have to do this now. It's like, man, okay, I don't really want to do this, but I have to. And then last one is quadrant number 4, not urgent, not important. This is where people in quadrant number 1 go because they're stressed out from spending their whole day taking out fire after fire after fire. They finally get on something online and just spend time wasting time because they're drained. They're really tired. You know, I usually use fantasy football, but somebody's got to love fantasy football. And you can make money now on it, so never mind. But people spend time just like drained because they're here. Our goal is to be here. Quadrant number 2. Quadrant number 2 is the vision area, okay? And here's the interesting thing. A lot of people are, if you're thinking right now, why are we wasting time talking about vision? That's because you might not be used to being in quadrant number 2. You might not be stimulated by talking about something that you are really going to pay for later on if you don't spend time with it right now. You might be in this area because you're like, this isn't urgent, this isn't important, this isn't something I have to do right now. So, and why is this important for a startup or any kind of business? Well, here's the reason why. Because a lot of times we get busy. We get really into whatever we're doing, and we don't take time and start to write down that vision that we have, or just reinforce it, reiterate what we're doing. And we just get into some kind of mode of, I don't know, just doing our thing. And we don't realize we might be losing a sense of momentum, might be losing a sense of energy because we haven't stopped and taken a second to just write down, what is it that I'm doing again? It's an interesting thing. How many of you have woke up today and wrote down your vision? All right. So, me neither, okay? No, I did. I'm just kidding. You think I wouldn't do that before talking about it? No. But it's just the fact of life. We're so busy. We got a lot of things going on. And it's important, I think, for me and for others to stop and just write this stuff down. And a lot of us would be like, well, you know what? I talked about vision like last week with somebody. I wrote it down 2 months ago. I already know it. Well, vision is not just it's not a noun, but it's also, you could say it's a verb. It's an action. It's doing. It involves, if we're not doing it, then we're losing it. Does that make sense? Somebody else said, he wrote a book about vision. He said that you cannot reiterate your vision to the people you work with enough. You can't do it enough. And it's best to do it to yourself. I don't know if anyone has any proclamations or declarations that you have of your own. All right, that you just wake up and you go in the mirror and you do stuff that only weird or crazy people do. Talk to yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself what you're about, what you're going to do. I had to do that a couple of times. I'll give you one example of a person or a group that tried to enforce their own I wouldn't even call it vision, but their own idea of what they wanted me to do. They actually wanted me to date and marry a girl, and that I didn't know. And I was so clueless that I was just about sold on their idea. Could you believe that? But I felt something inside, I felt something inside. And, just like Moana's grandmother said, that little voice inside is who you are. I'm sorry, I got a 2-year-old and 1-year-old. We saw that movie at least 10 times yesterday. But she said, that voice inside is who you are. But anyway, I didn't listen to that voice inside, I thought, well, these people are older than me or more experienced than I am. They have to know more than me. But I kept hearing a voice, and I finally paid attention to it. And I guess I want to be proactive and just tell everybody here, listen to that voice, whatever you need to do for that silence. If you need silence, sometimes people meditate, people pray, whatever you need to do, it's important. Okay, it's not urgent, so you probably don't feel like you need to do it really, but it's very important. And probably within the next, 10 years or something, you'd be like, dang, this was kind of important. I probably need to do this. I wrote down a list of some things that are helpful for creating an environment of vision. And these things, some things you might know, some things you might not know. So I'm just going to put it out there. Posters, okay? Putting up things on the wall, not just posters, but put up your vision on the wall. Make a visual map and make it as large as possible. Spend $100 on it. Maybe that's not too much, right? And decorate your environment. Remind yourself over and over again about what that vision is for you. The other is audio CDs. I'm sure. How many people listen to audio CDs here? We got the audio CD club. All right. Anyway, or MP3s or podcasts in your car. It's language. Okay, those are words. You're decorating your environment with words again. Those words are reinforcing that vision again. I'm reinforcing your vision again, I hope. Number 3, of course, people. People around you, people that are saying things that you resonate with. I was going to say mentors, but, just people. A lot of times my friends are like my mentors. They don't even know it, but they're my mentors, and I just surround myself around them, or I try to. Oh, declarations, I mentioned that. Declare. Make a statement of your own and see how it resonates with you. Music. The reason why I put music is pay attention to the energy that you get. A lot of times I was so lazy that I just listened to the radio constantly and didn't make my own playlist, but playlists are important. Playlists are a big thing, man. And I play music, and I just didn't want to ever make my own playlist, but I finally did. Pay attention to your vocabulary. So if you look here on the back here, there's some information about guarding and nurturing your vision. Start with focusing on your words, your motives, your mood reaction to words you use and hear. And how is it linked with your motives or your moods? For example, detectors of a lack of vision is normally found in obsessively being the only one person right in the room. Like, I have to be right. I can't be wrong. Obsessively finding fault. When you you can find fault with stuff, it's fine. But when you obsessively find fault with something, there's a key there. Because vision actually creates a sense of stability within yourself and security. You're not intimidated. You're not trying to find fault. You're actually trying to find connections a lot because you have your vision. Being too self-interest focused. If it's a good vision, it's going to involve and it's going to unite people. If it's a good vision. A self-serving vision is going to backstab you. You're going to find yourself fault-finding because you're trying to defend yourself against it's your vision. It's not for anybody else. So now you're getting insecure, and a vision will keep you secure. Focus on words that empower, such as sincere love, encouragement, forgiveness, resilience, an exuberant attitude, it's a phrase, humility. Think of other words that best suit you. Try this week to consider the words that frequently come out of your mouth that are mostly helpful for you to nurture the vision. And then you have to be objective enough to see if there's any words that are not supporting your vision, because we're all not perfect people. You know, I'm old. You know, I'm that old. Okay, and no, I'll let. How old am I? You guys tell me.
13.8 billion years.
Thank you. And I'm still flawed. So it's going to take me. I know that I have to pay attention to the words that I say, because they should change actually within more billions of years from now. So try this week to consider those words. Consider saying something like this. These words are not just for people who feel insecure and they're just stupid people. You know, I'm smart. No, smart people say I'm smart, okay, to themselves. They don't say it to too many people. Don't make other people feel bad. But when it's just you have to say some things like this sometimes. I'm smart enough. I'm smart enough to do this task. I'm not just smarter than other people. I'm smart enough for this. I'm attractive enough. I kept that in there because I know all of you feel attractive enough already to do whatever you need to do, but some people don't. So I'm attractive enough. I'm disciplined enough to get the job done. I'm motivated enough. I'm knowledgeable enough for this. I'm consistent enough. I'm persistent enough. I am positive enough. I am joyful enough. I can do it. Yes, I can do it. And again, this is not for losers. These are for winners. This is what winners say. Okay. Have you ever heard of Evan Carmichael? He's got something cool on YouTube that he gives the top 10 rules of success, and he just like showcases different people. But it's cool. I learned a lot of things. A lot of billionaires, not that billionaires is just the total end all of like success, but a lot of people that manage their money well said things like this to themselves, okay? I am focused enough. I am passionate enough. And God is with me. If you have faith in whatever else, you say whatever you need to say. But if you believe in God, you shouldn't be ashamed. So God is with me. I am confident enough. I am healthy enough, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. That makes me feel good just saying that. Find others that will constantly convey this message as well. Use these phrases and words to encourage yourself. Try changing the I to you. Maybe tell somebody, have you told somebody last week one of these things? It's amazing how weeks or years can go by. We haven't even told one person something like this, you know. Or change it to he or she when you do positive gossip, right? Tell someone about someone else, about this. And then create your environment for your vision. So that's what you're doing. And by the way, the other important thing is if you're an employer, you're practicing this, you're creating a culture of vision. So people see this vision everywhere when they're in the environment, they see the vision, they catch it, because environment is everything. I wish I had time to talk about environment and holistic living. Oh my gosh. We can be who we are because we have a vision that we value. That's holistic. I don't have to be intimidated when I'm in this kind of environment, you know. So why have a vision? Because that's the thing that's connected to your legacy and whatever it is that you desire to do. And I hope the outside environment hasn't tried to, I'm sure it's tried to choke it out of you, but I want to encourage you that you find that environment, not only will it grow, blossom, and everything like that, but other people will be inspired as well. And they'll pursue something that they probably thought wasn't possible a couple of days ago. So thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you.